What's the chat say? Oh, I guess you'll go on Thursday. All right, so we're good. Let me now start sharing so we can start recording. Okay. Ooh. Here we go. All right. Absolute value. Do you recall in absolute value how like, this is like junior high. The absolute value of -6 is what? You guys can raise hands and I'll do participation still. Absolute value, let me move my face. Justin.
6.
Just 6. So what I'm gonna do is keep that in mind, because as I'm making my table of values, you're gonna make a table of values and you're gonna go from -3, hold on. -3 all the way to 2, -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2. These are gonna be my X values that I'm going to include. All right, so we're gonna go through and we're gonna talk about all these absolute values. And just have your hand ready, you know, because you guys know how to virtually raise your hand. So just have that accessible on your computer so that you can raise hand. Just volunteer one time today, because I don't need, you know, 3 people, the same person 3 times. The absolute value of -3 is Paige.
3.
Great. The absolute value of -2. Whoa, hey everybody. Okay, great job. Kelsey.
2.
2. The absolute value of -1. Kwong.
1.
The absolute value, like everybody had their hand up. Dylan, the absolute value of 0.
0.
Yep. Absolute value of 1. These are like the easiest. Josh, W. Absolute value of 1.
1.
Absolute value of 2. It's not, hold on, I gotta make sure I say, oh, Eugene, yeah.
2.
2. Okay, so now let's graph those. -3, -3. -3, -3. -2, up 2. -1, up 1. 0, 0. 1, 1. 2, 2. Oh. 2, 2. 3, 3. So basically, it goes on like that forever. -5, 5. -6, 6. Right? So connect the dots, la la la. This is a V shape. It has 2 pieces. It has, because it's not like a connecting line. So please notice that I've got this line's equation is y equals -x. And this line's equation is y equals x. Can somebody tell me what my vertex is? Quinn, you've already helped, so new people. Miles.
The vertex would be the origin, 0, 0.
Good. Do you guys remember from parabolas something called the axis of symmetry? The axis of symmetry is a straight line that goes all the way down and cuts a shape in half. So my axis of symmetry for this is going to be right down the middle, and my axis of symmetry is going to be x equals 0. Okay? So that's nice. Got those little recap things in our brain, right? All right. So now I want to talk to you about what a piecewise, it says number 2, rewrite the function as a piecewise defined function. Piecewise means, I can zoom in a little bit. Okay. Piecewise means that I'm going to have more than one piece. Okay. And it's basically going to tell where the domain is. I have 2 lines. I have 2 pieces to this absolute value graph. The first piece is this green. Second piece is pink. So I'm going to explain where the line is for both pieces. F of x, remember it's the same thing as y. I'm going to stop writing y very shortly. Here we go. I am going to put this in set notation. The reason I'm putting this in set notation is that I've got these 2 separate pieces that are individual on their own. Okay, interval notation is when we're talking about many numbers or a large set of data. So my 2 equations, pink and green, right? Let's do the positive. When f of x equals x, when y equals x, that's my pink line. I want to know, where is this, like where is it bigger than 0? So pink right here. On this pink line, I'm at 0 and then I go positive, right? So I'm going to say that x is greater than or equal to 0. That's where the line is located, okay? Then, for the second piece is the green line. F of x equals negative x, absolute value of negative x. I'm gonna say, now, I did greater than or equal to 0. I've already included the 0 here in this one, so I'm just gonna go that x is less than 0 because I've already included the 0 in my positive upward pink line. So I'm basically saying, where is this piece of line? Where is this line? Well, this pink line is greater than 0. This green line is less than 0. Now it's here, right? Kind of like, look at my axis of symmetry line. One of them is greater than 0. The other one is less than 0. All right, let's talk about our domain, range, all that. So, okay. What's my domain, guys, of the whole shape, the V-shaped? From left to right, volunteer. From left to right, does it like stop at some point, or does the arrow go for it? Like what would I say my domain is for this? Because I've got this piece here and it's included, this middle dot is included and it goes all the way to the right. Eliza?
Negative infinity to positive infinity?
It is. Negative infinity to positive infinity. Guys, get good at writing your infinity symbols, okay? That's all real numbers, right? Now, my range. Okay. I have to talk to you about the range. I have a new piece of notation to teach you. Here we go. A bracket, let me do it in a different color so you can really see it. A bracket means it's included. And that would be like a solid point. And I use brackets a lot of times when I'm talking about equals signs. A bracket means included. I'm gonna have a solid point and I'm also would have an equal sign. A parentheses means that it's exclusive. It's an open point on the graph, and that would come with like an inequality symbol, less than, greater than. For infinity, I always use a parenthesis, okay? Always. So now, the reason I brought that up right now is because in the range, remember, on the range, it's my y values. I'm scanning up. So I want to start at my lowest point, and then go up. How high does it go? So what's my lowest point?
0.
Fletcher? Or Fisher? I'm sorry, Fisher.
Okay. 0.
0. Is 0 a closed circle or an open circle? Fisher, is it a closed circle or open circle? 0.
It's closed.
It's closed, which means that it is going to be included, which means it's a bracket. Okay, remember, my bottom or my lowest point to my top, lowest to highest. Okay, that's how the parentheses work. I'm not giving you an ordered pair here. This is talking about where is my range? Where is the line? Where is my domain? And it goes all the way to up, forever, infinity. I need volunteers for my x-intercept and y-intercept. X-intercept. Ronal. Is that how I say it? Ronal?
Ronil.
Ronil. Sorry.
Yeah. X, it's 0. 0, 0.
0, 0. Alexis, what do you think my y-intercept is?
0, 0.
Yeah. Okay. So now, I'm going to talk about the positive interval. A positive interval is, where is my, we talked about this yesterday, right? Where is my x, or where is my y greater than 0? Okay. I don't want to know where it's at when it equals 0. So I've got two parts here, you guys. Check this out. I've got green and pink. My green is over here. So it's at 0. It's going to be, remember, above the x-axis. Okay. This line is above the x-axis, and it's the smallest point. We start way over here. The smallest negative, negative what? To that end point right there. So what would I say for my positive interval for just this line right here? It's all the way here, the bottom, the smallest negative point value, all the way to here. How do I write that? It's going to be in parentheses. Maribel?
Is it negative infinity and then comma 0?
It is. Please write small, you guys. Please write small right now. Negative infinity to 0. Okay, that's just the left-hand side. Now I want to know what's happening with my pink. What's happening with the pink right there? So I'm going to do a new notation for you. I'm going to say the union of the two, okay? Or it's positive here or it's positive here. Together, they make the absolute value function. It's positive here or it's positive here. And then together, they make the V-shaped. Now I'm looking at pink. Pink starts at what and goes to what? New people. Leilani.
From infinity to 0.
Yeah. So I want you to know that that U shape, the alphabet letter U, stands for union. From, oh, I'm sorry. Did you say 0 to infinity?
0 to infinity.
Okay, good. Okay. I'm going to have no bracket on the 0. Because a bracket would mean that it's like y would equal 0. But we want to know greater than 0, right? My negative interval. Where is my v-shaped negative? Where's my v-shape under the x-axis? Where is it below here? What numbers does it hit below? Are you, what, are you seeing that it doesn't hit below? There's nothing under? So it's
No.
none, guys. Okay. Average rate of change. So moving on. In between, remember this is not an ordered pair. This is called an interval. If I'm between -6 and 1, check this out. If I'm between -6 and -1, put it in the wrong spot, sorry. I don't want that to be there. If I'm between -6 and -1, watch I like white out the other part. There. What's the slope when I'm in between these two green lines, between -6 and -1? I could just count, rise over run, rise over run. Leilani, you've already helped me today. Ronil, you've already helped me today. Faith, in between 0 and -1, I'm sorry, in between -6 and -1, what's the slope?
The slope is 1 or -1.
It's -1, it's going downhill. Because the ordered pair, helps if you can see it. The ordered pair, -6, 6, guys. If I were to write the ordered pairs, I think it's easier for you to just rise and run. Then, when it's at -1, I go up 1. So these are my ordered pairs. Remember X, Y, X, Y. But again, you should just rise and run. Because look, rise 1, left 1, up 1, left 1, up 1, left 1. There's how you get -1. I'm not going to do this next one just for time purposes. So that's graphing an absolute value. Let's now talk about more details of absolute value functions. And when I say more details, I mean, what if the vertex isn't at 0, 0? What if the function's a little bit skinnier or a little fatter or stretched or shifted? So here we go. Do you remember when we had a parabola? We would do transformations of a parabola and we would say, hey, the vertex was HK. Remember? The opposite sign. This is huge that you remember. The opposite sign right here. Okay, and that comes from, in the parabola, it comes from when I do zero product property and I have to like set it equal to 0. But the vertex here, for this absolute value form, is still going to be an HK, but be careful with the H, opposite sign of the H, opposite sign of the H. Axis of symmetry. Remember, it's that line that goes straight down and it cuts something in half. That's going to be the X value of the vertex. Then, what about my A? My A is always in front. If my A is greater than 0, like if it's positive, guys, how is my graph going to open? Volunteer. If it's a positive A, how will my graph open? Positive A. I'm checking in on you guys. I don't want you to be sleeping. Okay. If it's positive A, Eric.
Opens up.
Opens upward. And thank you, Eric. You've helped a lot. I need more people, guys. What happens if my A is negative? Vishan. Vince. Sorry.
It'll
Vincent.
close downwards.
Opens downward. Okay. Good. Other people, stay with me. Natalie, I totally need to hear from you. Giancarlo, I totally need to hear from you. Okay. Now, what if my A, when I say less than 1, I mean, like, what if A was a fraction? What if A was like a half or 3/4? Do you guys remember what happens when, if the number itself is a small number, less than 1? Less than 1. I don't care if it's negative or positive right now. A fraction means that it's fat. Fat fraction. Greater than, I'm sorry, bigger than the normal. It gets wider when it has a fraction as my A. Okay, when my A is a large number, it could be negative or positive. What if A was -3, or what if A was 7? I'm just looking at the number, the absolute value. 3, 7. What's gonna happen to my graph? If it doesn't get wider, it gets, Caitlin.
It gets bigger? I mean,
Wider?
smaller?
Narrower. Okay. Good. Okay. All right. Here we go. Turn the page, guys. Now, I want to look at these back ones. I'm not going to graph every single one. The reason that I care about going through these back ones is because I want to talk about how the graph looks, okay? I'm not interested in the detail or making table of values. I want to know, does it open upward or downward? What's the vertex? What's the axis of symmetry? Is it shifted? So here we go. And I can get in there a little better. Okay. This one, number 1 on the back. First of all, does it open upward or downward, guys? Look at the A. Alexis.
Down.
I'm hearing from the same people, guys, but Alexis, tell me.
It opens downward.
Yep. Okay. What is my vertex? Oh, because A is -1, sorry. Eric, I've already heard from you lots. Put your hand down, bud. I need to hear from fresh people. Someone else raise their hand. It's this. If I had nothing, then it would look like this. What's that vertex then? Akil.
Would it be 0?
It's 0, 0. Which means that my axis of symmetry is the first number of my vertex, x equals 0. Okay. I'm going to go through and I'm going to do these values 1, 2, 3, 4 for each graph here. And I need more people to volunteer. Okay. Number 1, does it open upward or downward? Maribel.
Opens up.
Because it's a positive 2, A equals 2. Okay. Hey, a 2. A 2 means it's going to get narrower. Remember those 2, 3, 4, 5? Vertex. It looked like this. Eric, stop, please. I need to get new people. I love that you know it, but I need to hear from others. Katie.
0, 3.
0, 3. Good job. Number 4. It's going to be a little bit narrower. My axis of symmetry, remember it runs straight down the middle. Leilani.
X equals 0.
Thank you. And then Leilani, you can take a break on helping. Some people are like hardly even anything. Hi guys, I need you. X equals 0. Okay, number 3. What's open upward or downward? Sarah.
Would it open up?
It does because this is a positive 1. A equals 1. All right, good. Vertex. Kelsey.
Would it be 5, -1?
Oh, one thing, I'm sorry, not parentheses. It's the opposite sign of right here.
Oh, okay, -5 and then
-5, -1. Good job. Okay. Number 4, axis of symmetry. X equals, because -5, -1 is like right here. Axis of symmetry is going to go straight down. Faith.
-5.
-5.
Wait, Miss Grant,
What's up?
wouldn't -1, -5 be -1 to the right and then -5 not down, not -5 to the right, -1 down?
My vertex is going to be H comma K. This is my H and this is my K. So I do need to go 5 to the left first. And then.
Oh, wait, sorry, I was thinking wrong.
That's fine. One thing I do want to just write for you guys and give you the answer to is this information, because we only did really like one problem. So on the domain range, positive and negative. So let me write down what they are for at least just number 1, okay? The domain is going to be all real numbers. -infinity to positive infinity, okay? Now, my range, remember this opens downward, guys, like this. My range is going to be the lower or the bottom to the top, right? -infinity all the way to 0. And my 0 has a bracket because brackets mean, somebody tell me what brackets mean. Look back on the last page. What does a bracket mean? Phil.
A solid point.
A solid point, and it's included, inclusive. Okay, good deal. Positive interval. Where is my V-shaped absolute value above the x-axis? Nowhere. It's not above the x-axis at all. But the negative interval has 2 parts. Remember, one line and another line? Here we go. Watch carefully. And write small. -infinity to 0. Union. Remember, union, which also means or. 0 to infinity. Two parts to my line because it has a here and a here. The union of the two makes the negative interval. It's all in the negative. Okay. And I think we're good. Okay. This is a lot. Your homework tonight is going to be number 5 and then 9 through 11 on your homework paper. Number 5 and then 9 through 11 on your homework paper. I just challenged your brain so much, you guys, and I just did a ton of information. So you may feel a little bit overwhelmed with all this. The video is going to be on YouTube, and so you will be able to look back if you need to. I'm also here at noon for that student support, right? Noon to 12:30. Remember tomorrow you are going to log directly onto Albert.io for class. You're not going to join the Zoom session tomorrow. Go to Albert.io and start the test, the diagnostic, when class starts. Please be logged in with your school email or else it won't recognize you. And also you need to be taking the test honestly, because I really need to know where your strengths and your weaknesses are. It's really important to me, okay? I'll take attendance tomorrow based on you doing the diagnostic test, okay? All right, hey, thank you for sticking with me, okay? I'm going to stop the sharing, stop the recording.